Welcome back to In Pursuit of Magic, where we explore the things that inspire us, connect us, and the magic we find along the way. I'm Matthew Medina, and today's very special guest is an actress, singer, dancer who is an AMDA alum and is starring as Evie, daughter of the Evil Queen, for Descendants the musical at the Argyle Theatre in Long Island, starting April 25th through June 7th. I'm very excited to welcome Jessica Jane Smith. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us on the pod today.
Hey, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Me too. I was just looking at your excitement in rehearsals and getting ready for the show, and so I can imagine there's just a lot of work going on, but a lot of magic too. So I'm excited to find out your inspirations. What first got you inspired and wanted you to want to be a performer?
Well, I would definitely say I wasn't really born into it because my family is not really tied to theater or music at all. They loved watching theater, so they kind of wanted to just expose me to it. And I remember this funny story was my parents brought me to the national tour of Hairspray, and I was 4 years old, and they brought two different cars because they thought I would want to leave on intermission. And come intermission, I was like, oh my gosh, when's it going to start again? And can I meet the characters? It was this whole funny thing. And it was just a great experience. And then from then, I started at a little local theater company in my small town in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. And I never wanted it to end. It felt like home. It felt like magic. And it was my thing since I was like 6 years old.
It's incredible how an experience like that from such a young age can leave such an impact, and it just you feel a call towards it and a pull. And what do you remember being one of the first performances you did at a young age that you were like, "Oh yeah, this is where I belong"?
So yes, I was 7 years old and it was this random variety show. It wasn't even an actual scripted musical. And I got to sing Once Upon a December from Anastasia, and it finished and I was sitting at the counter just sobbing my eyes out. My parents were like, okay, she's hooked. And then I did my first scripted show was Little Mermaid Junior. And I remember I was with all of these older kids and I was so nervous, but I got Ariel and I was freaked out and I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to memorize all this stuff? But it was from that moment that I realized, wait, I'm only 7 years old. This is clicking. This is something that I'm so passionate about at such a young age. That was kind of when I knew, this is home. This is where I belong and I have to continue.
It's amazing also to start at such a young age because you get to experience this kind of atmosphere and environment and also community from different age groups and different kind of environments, which I can only imagine is very different when you're young, and then as you get older it's like a whole different ball game, and you never know what you're going to get sometimes. So how has community for you kind of impacted your overall experience and how you approach theater and your passion for it?
Well, I would say that without community, there isn't that magic. I think it's so special to be a part of something where you know that everybody around you is also understanding the magic and the impact of it. And I think that's what's beautiful. It's so refreshing and almost relaxing to be in a community that all cares about it, all knows that theater is something you can't hit pause on or rewind, and that you're all creating this moment that can never be repeated or replicated. And I think that's where this beautiful feeling of community comes in, because you know that you all share the same love and heart, and you all uplift each other and make each other feel like you're a part of something huge, which is so special.
Absolutely. And I think the toughest part sometimes is that we tend to see each other's successes and all the things going right and like the wins, and not the so-called losses, as we kind of look at them as at the time, or the things that don't work out, or the closed doors, or the no's, or the no responses sometimes. And so for
That's it.
you, when those moments come up, because not everyone talks about them, how do you overcome those moments and keep your fire lit so that you don't let that passion disappear?
Of course. Well, I would say, and you probably have heard this from a lot of people in the business, but every no is just one step closer to a yes. But it's hard and it's really degrading, especially if you keep going and you're putting yourself out there all the time and you're like, why aren't I hearing anything? But also in a way, it is a win because you're just showing what you are, showing who you are, doing your best. And to me, I almost think of it as like a rehearsal. So if I go to an audition, I know I do well. I don't hear anything. Okay, but at least I got to show a piece of myself to this new team, making connections, meeting new people. I think there's always a way to find the magic or the beauty in things that might even seem harsh. I mean, I remember when I was waiting for hopefully something from Descendants from the Argyle for this. I was so nervous, but if not, I was like, you know what? If I don't get it, I still showed that I love this role in my callback and I love this character, and it's something I would love to do in the future. So I tried to find the beauty even in the chaos.
which is incredible to do because I think someone once told me that the auditioning process and the training for that kind of stuff is part of the job, and you like to look at it that way, like it's all part of the same job, not stuff you do in between jobs. And that can get
Totally.
difficult because whether it's being an actor or whether it's whatever you're doing in life, like putting yourself out there, trying to network, trying to sell yourself in a lot of ways can, like you said, be very difficult, can feel degrading sometimes. And so it's
Exactly.
nice to know that that's just part of the process, and it's one that like everyone shares, which is so interesting because our dreams feel very individual, and that could make the journey seem very lonely. And yet, like you said, so many people have the same dream and they're going through it. And,
Yes,
I think when we lean on each other, that's when we find a lot of strength and magic. So for
of
you,
course. I
what
couldn't
advice would you give to others who have a dream and are kind of overwhelmed by whatever obstacles or fears or insecurities they may have?
I would say that the biggest thing of advice that I would give anyone is just you have to be you, authentically you to the core. There is to the core, rotten to the core. No, I'm kidding. You have to absolutely know who you are and what you bring to the table. I'm not saying have a high ego or get cocky. I mean, but you have to know that you have something special, that you have that magic, that you have that power, that different factor that's different than everyone else. And you have to just be passionate in the work that you put forward. And I think just remember that, I mean, not everybody immediately books something immediately coming out of school. Everyone has a different journey, a different trajectory. And I think a really big piece of advice that I have to remind myself too is there's no time limit. There's no one holding up a stopwatch saying you only have this amount of time to get there. You can make your Broadway debut at 10, at 40, at 5, it doesn't matter. And there's lots of time. I think a lot of people worry that you have to get something done in your 20s or things like that, but I think remembering that you are authentically you, you have that magic, and there is no stopwatch. You can take the time that you need. That's definitely the best advice I'd give.
Yeah, I think that's very important. I think someone once said that when you walk in the room, you have to remember that you're bringing something that not everyone else has. You're bringing something that only you have. And other people may also be bringing talent with them, just like you, but they're
Right.
not going to be you. And so that's important to remember. And I think it's also just a beautiful thing to kind of just keep in mind that what's meant for you will be yours. And sometimes taking a turn or a side road ends up bringing you to a better place than you even imagine. I keep hearing that from
Totally.
different people where they're doing stuff they never really even dreamed of, or they get that dream and they're like, okay, well, what do I dream of next? Like, what do I do now? And it's
Literally.
just never our timetable. It just, and like you said, it fluctuates. Like sometimes it's feast, sometimes it's famine, and you just never know what to expect. And so yeah, I think it's important, like you said, to lean on others and to remember what you bring to the table and not put your self-value in the role, but just know your own value,
Of course.
which is
100%.
super important. And in chasing your dream, I know you came from Canada. So what was it like moving to NYC and going to school at AMDA?
Well, I will say it was definitely a pretty big culture shock. I was really lucky though that like my family and I, since we do all love theater, we would come to New York at least once a year and see shows. So at least I was a little bit accustomed to the area and the busyness. But it was really hard. I mean, I again my town is pretty small and there's only a few theater companies. So being here exposed to like you're like living in the heart of it. That's why I chose AMDA and that's why I chose New York City because I knew that I'm being completely submerged in it, whether I want to be or not. I'm going to walk down the street and I'm at a theater, or I'm going to see a celebrity on the road because it happens all the time. And it was really nerve wracking. But once I got there and again, surrounded by community, people who live and breathe the same thing as me, and seeing that they all want this and they're so passionate was so uplifting. And I've made some forever friends. And I've definitely gone through some ups and downs, but it got me to where I am now. So I really couldn't be happier.
Well, that's awesome. What do you think about that experience at school that also kind of helped prepare you for being part of a production like Descendants?
Yes. Okay. So totally. I mean, the faculty at AMDA are amazing. Like I was never sitting there being like, why am I learning this? Like everyone had something a great to take away, but definitely like learning about this is gonna sound so stupid, but listening. Like really just hearing everything that your scene partner is saying. Like not of course I know what lines are coming next and I'm aware of it, but every time that you're in that moment, you're in a scene, you're in a song, you are fully 100% your attention is given to that person. And that is how you react. That is how you come with what you have to say or things like that. And I can't get over how much listening was just something that was taught and was really comprehended. It's like I never thought just taking that one extra step would take you farther as an actress. And that was something so beautiful. So just really being able to, I mean, Descendants, of course, it's very geared to children, it's Disney and stuff, but there's still heart, there's still some heavy topics. And just being able to fully submerge yourself in that world and the people around you and just listening, taking it all in. That is the number one thing.
Do you think moments and lessons like that kind of cross over into your real life out off the stage and vice versa? What lessons from like real life go into your acting?
Yes, I would totally say everything. I mean, a lot of people have said that you can't, if you don't live, then you aren't a good actor. Like, you have to be able to go through different life experiences that are going to help shape what you do with your character work. Like, for example, I feel like I'm very much like Evie in the fact that she's a hopeless romantic. She loves doing things for people and just feeling that love that I think I'm so motherly with my friends. Like I will cook and I will plan things and things like that and make sure everyone's okay. And I feel like that helps me with my character and also just all experiences. I mean, even the ones that can be hard and that can be feeling like a dead end. I mean, taking that into something serious in the future is really important. And just knowing that even I look at it as even though if there's something terrible that I'm going through or something that's a hard time, I think, you know what? In the end, this is going to shape me to be a better actor and this is going to help me really connect. And if I can make someone feel something, then I know I've done my job and that's number one.
Absolutely. And I can only imagine a story like Descendants could have a lot of meat to get through where you can show that on stage and connect with the audience. So what for you about Evie, on top of what you already mentioned, do you think is just a beautiful part of her character and her role within the core four that makes her such an important character?
I think Evie has the heart. I mean, Queen of Hearts, not Queen of Hearts, but like Evil Queen, she loves her heart. She loves the red and the blue. I would say that she is like she is the heart of the core four. And I think she feels the deepest. Of course, Mal goes through a very big character arc as well. But Evie is there. She's witnessing everything. You know, she's finding out that she loves school and she loves the feeling of love. And there's more to her than just being isolated. And I think that that's so beautiful. It's just knowing that someone who grew up on, the Isle of the Lost, there's not a lot going on over there. And then being submerged in something so beautiful and lively. And then actually being able to achieve that come the end of it when she falls in love with Doug. So cute, if you don't know. Yeah, I think that her heart is so amazing, and it's been really beautiful to connect to something like that because I feel like I sometimes lose like my heart and remember that that is one of my favorite parts about myself and the way I just love so willingly and have my heart on my sleeve. So being able to take that from Evie and connect that into my life has been really, really amazing.
It's incredible because yeah, I was gonna ask, we were talking about your favorite things about the character, and I was gonna ask, what is your favorite part of portraying her, and how does that affect you as a person?
Yeah, I would totally say the heart. Also, she is a little like doing Chillin' Like a Villain is one of my favorite things because I love that song because you see a different side of her. Like right before the way the musical setup is a little bit different than the movie. Very, very different. Very, very minorly. But Space Between happens right before Chillin' Like a Villain. So you see her in this really vulnerable state, speaking with her best friend, someone she loves, who she wants to support no matter what. And then she kind of turns a little leaf and she's like this like badass girl and she's like getting ready and she's like come on we got to go you got to follow my lead and I think that's cool too because I feel like you always have to tap into that in your everyday life too. You have to have a little moment of edge and a little moment of grit while also still having the heart, being a kind person and things like that. So it's been cool to play both of those two different shades.
Absolutely, because it's also 2 different points in her, like, story, so it's like taking songs from different movies, so you get to
Yeah,
experience different parts of her arc, which is pretty cool. And, yeah,
it
I
is.
didn't know that they would have songs from Descendants too mixed in, which is really awesome.
Yes, it's mostly songs from Descendants 1, but there are some from number 2 sprinkled in, and it's mostly the premise of 1. They just bring the Chill and Like a Villain Isle part to number 1. It's actually really cool. It actually works really well, and yeah, I'm so excited to do it.
What has been your favorite song to rehearse so far?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm honestly a really big fan. I was just talking about it, but Space Between has been really, really beautiful. The girl who's playing Mal, Sarah Stewart, she's a really great soul, and I feel like I literally connected with her from day 1, and now I think she'll, like, be my lifelong sister, so it's been really pretty to show that, and I can't wait for audiences to see that, but also, some of the dance numbers are awesome, like, Rotten to the Core being our opening with that, like, reveal of the core 4 has been so awesome. The choreography is insane, so I would say dance numbers and Space Between, that's been my favorite, no matter what. Yeah.
It sounds like it's been a lot of fun, getting ready for opening night too, so I have to ask, how have rehearsals kinda helped you bond as the core 4 together?
Oh my gosh. Well, again, going into it, like, I think I knew 1 or 2 people in the cast, and we were all, like, very fresh-faced, and we weren't sure. We were like, "Oh my god, this is such an iconic core 4. They are literally, like, siblings, family, best friends, everything in one," and we really wanted to make sure that that was shown, and I think it was literally us, like, dumping our lives to each other on the first day kind of helped because the more I understand them as who they are actually in real life, the more I'm going to understand how they're doing their Carlos, their Jay, their Mal. And it's been so great to just, it's like it's us on stage as the characters. I think that's number 1. I don't feel like I'm just Evie. It's like I am just as Evie and it's Ryan as Carlos, da 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 da. And that's what's so amazing because it actually feels like it's just the 4 of us going through this crazy adventure with magic and villains and love and all this heart on stage. And I really hope that the audience feels that too because we're having so much fun and it just feels like a dream to be like best friends showing a beautiful best friendship in this crazy Disney World. It's awesome.
I think absolutely that'll translate to the audience because I think when people connect with the roles they're playing and with each other, it shows. I mean, that's part of the magic of theater and live theater, especially. You feel it in the room and there's a connection with the audience too. So I know that they're going to feel and see that. And it
Yes.
has me curious also what it felt like to put on the costume for the first time or what that moment was like.
Oh my gosh. So actually, very fun fact, we don't get our costumes until tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm gonna say like tomorrow is I'm very
It's a big
excited. I'm
day.
really thinking about it. I mean, getting in that leather jacket, what it's gonna be like. But I already know that it's just going to make everything a million times better. I mean, it's we start our tech tomorrow, so it's definitely going to get very exciting, very chaotic, but in a good way. And I think that that's going to definitely pull everything together. I mean, the look of the movie, the wigs, the hair, the makeup, it's so iconic. Like that is just one of my it is my all-time favorite Disney Channel original movie. And I think being able to wrap that all together is going to be the coolest thing. It's going to be the cherry on top. So
That's definitely going to be a big moment. And I'm wondering how it may affect just how you feel stepping into that role when you have like the whole outfit on.
oh, yeah, I think it's gonna bring everything to the next level. I mean, we already really feel like we are them, we're understanding them, we're living through them, but I think that's gonna help even more with just taking on how iconic it is. That's the one thing that we're like, guys, this is so iconic. We have to make sure that is portrayed. But I'm really sure will be. So
Have you seen anything of the stage yet and what that's going to look like?
yes, we did see the set. It's very cool. It's very Isle of the Lost-esque. Like there's different stairs and there's like a ladder and things, plus like this brick vibe, and then just a lot. There's like a trap door for our bedroom scenes and things like that. So it's really cool. And I hear we're getting some really cool lighting and like graphic designs to like project it onto the stage. So I'm super excited for when that all comes together. It's gonna feel really cool.
That sounds awesome. I'm already like imagining what it may look like, and it just sounds really exciting. And I can imagine between that and the costume, it's just gonna make everything come to life. So
Totally.
very exciting, filled with magic. And I
Yes.
know you said Descendants in general is one of your favorite DComs. And so I'm curious, who's your favorite Disney villain?
Oh my gosh, that's hard. I would have to say, oh my god. I'm a really big fan of Mother Gothel. I know she's not as crazy as the others, but I am a really big fan of her. Or, I mean, I really loved, I know this is a hot take. Not a lot of people liked the third Descendants movie,
I
but
did.
I loved Cheyenne Jackson's portrayal of Hades.
Yes.
Like really one of my faves. Like I would put him up there in top five because that song and just that like ooh, like I just loved the look and everything. Like it was just so good. So Mother Gothel or Hades are gonna have to be my two.
I can definitely agree. I think it's awesome that Dub Cameron as Mal got two awesome parents and two
I
awesome
know.
actors playing her parents. I'm like, okay,
Literally.
yeah, I could actually see that. That makes sense.
Like awesome. Yeah, like the most iconic people. So great. So great.
Incredible. And, we're talking so much about magic and dreams. And so I'm wondering what other dream roles you may have that you would love to play one day.
I mean, this is gonna sound cheesy, but I honestly say that anything upcoming is a dream role. But if I had to like actually specify anything, I mean, I was actually really moved when I saw the revival of Sunset Boulevard on Broadway just I guess it was like a year, almost 2 years ago. So one day when I'm really old, not really old, but like older, to play Norma Desmond would be really, really cool. I also love Satine in Moulin Rouge. I think that's such a cool role. I'll be typical, say Alphaba and Wicked, and maybe Jenna and Waitress, or anything in The Great Gatsby. I love The Great Gatsby. So like Jordan Baker or Myrtle Wilson, anything would be great.
All amazing roles and shows.
Yeah,
What shows have you seen lately that really like stuck out to you as like, oh, this was awesome?
great. I'm really glad you asked this question. I have a very, it's actually, it's right here, The
I
Lost
love it.
Boys.
Oh, how was it?
Everybody Oh my god, everybody is talking about it, including myself. I've seen it twice. I'm going to see it a third time. I don't know how I grabbed opening night tickets. They released a few and I it's actually one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of shows and I think there's just it's from the music to the like the heart and then the danger. It's like visually insane, beautifully like musically insane. I think it's just if it does well, which I'm hoping it will, I think it will be a really really big hit. So, I tell everyone to go see it.
Yeah, that's been on my radar because I just saw Titanic and loved it.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
incredible.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Totally like that's a moment where it's like I never want it to end because I'm
Yeah.
just like transported. It's so great.
And what was so funny, it's because it's 90 minutes, so it goes quick. Like, you don't even realize the time goes.
I know. It's like, oh my god, it's over. I don't want it to be. Cause yeah, that show's great. And stellar cast. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Oh
Like
my god.
so good.
But yeah, all these shows that are coming out now, I love seeing new faces and fresh faces. And of course, there's always also Hollywood actors coming into roles and there's a lot of revivals, but I love seeing fresh takes on stories. I love seeing new people stepping into the spotlight. And, for you, what is it like to see other people that you've maybe admired, like step into different roles and follow their careers? And what does it mean for you as you're on your journey?
I mean, I think it's beautiful. Like I find myself like sobbing at most shows, especially ones that I'm really connected to when I see like everybody, of course, on Broadway is fantastic, but there have been like a few standouts. Like, for example, Joshua Henry in Ragtime really got me. Like, I couldn't stop sobbing. I was like, this is life changing. And then, actually, one of my friends who is in the ensemble of the Lost Boys, her name's Carissa Guerin. She's fabulous. Seeing her from Gatsby to this, that has also been amazing because it's like, oh my God, this is someone I know and they're achieving their dreams and they're bowing on that Broadway stage and you can just feel the heart. It's that whole feeling of like I am moved by what you're doing and I can't wait to be the one that's moving another little girl in the audience. And I think that's what's so thrilling about the entire thing. It's like I one day will give people that feeling and that's the coolest thing.
That's definitely part of the magic, and I think that's why so many people love stories, whether it's theater or film or TV or books. It transports us somewhere else, but I think it also I think I said once before, like, it creates empathy for fictional characters, people we don't know, but come from different situations, come from different storylines and backgrounds, and I think that's part of the beauty of it, and when we can connect and feel something, that's something special, and
That
it's
is so
amazing when, as an actor, for you, like, to be part of that magic, and create that for someone
totally
else.
100%.
And I think stories are just such an important part of of anyone's journey, whether they realize it or not. But I think especially when you're in a creative space, it's kind of just like fuel for yourself, and it keeps you going
Totally.
when things are tough. So for you,
100.
what has been kind of a bigger source of fuel and passion, even if it's outside of theater? Because a lot of people talk about how important it is to love a bunch of different things, maybe. And so that
Yes.
way, like, you can pour yourself into different things. Because, like you said, sometimes it's hard if you're defining yourself by the one thing and isn't exactly working on your timetable, even if it is working.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I do hear that a lot, that you can't marry yourself to theater. I mean, still do, but you have to also have other interests to keep that magic alive. For me, my mom is a fabulous chef, and I wasn't the most hands-on in the kitchen, but I was always watching her. So I've taken a passion now since living on my own to cooking. I really love it. I love to cook for people. I like them to be like, "Okay, what did you think? Give me some critiques." So that's something that I feel like de-stresses me, connects me to her, makes me feel kind of at home. And I also just recently started boxing. I don't It kind of came out of the blue. I was like always interested in it and I started doing it, and it's been a really great source of like cardio for helping, keep up your stamina for when you're doing shows, but also just like remembering your strength. I know boxing is so much more of a male sport, but seeing women there is really cool, and just remembering that there are so many passions, there's so many different outlets and different things. So, yeah, anything's possible.
That's awesome that you're doing so many different things, and it's always great learning new skills too. I think that's super important, and,
Totally.
when it comes to theater, I know you've been doing it from such a young age, but now as you're, like, stepping onto this big stage and you're filling this role, what for you maybe has been a surprise about theater and performing that you hadn't expected but was a pleasant surprise?
Wow, a pleasant surprise. Well, I mean, I think just really, really honing in on the fact that there are so many people who want that dream. And I mean, it's inevitable, but it's so beautiful and like surprising to be around people who actually have the same fuel as you. I feel like it's different because there's so many different careers in this world, but with theater, it's so special to know that every single person that you're doing this with, I mean, I would hope every single person there, but every single person is so thrilled by the same thing. They're fueled by this amazing moment that like I said, can't be paused, can't be replicated, can't be rewinded. I think that is such a crazy big surprise. Another really big surprise though, at least for Descendants, is the fact that the Argyle Theater is a beautiful, big theater. I would honestly compare it in size to like a New World Stages off Broadway theater. So that was a really pleasant surprise when I went in there. I was like, holy crap, this is huge. And I mean, so crazy. It's just such a blessing to be making my professional like regional theater debut and to be in a great community at like the Argyle and in that theater. It feels really, really special. It's a beautiful, pleasant surprise.
That's amazing, and I can feel the excitement coming off you, and it makes me excited for you because I know that that's a big deal, and especially playing such an awesome role, as part of the core four. And
Yes.
I know you said, Descendants being one of your favorite DCOMs, but if there was another DCOM you could be part of in a musical format on stage, what would you choose?
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's a great question. I I don't want to be typical and say High School Musical.
It's a big
Maybe
one.
High School Musical 3. I know that's another
Yeah,
hot take. I'm really giving hot takes.
I like
Okay,
3.
yeah, 3 is really good, and I feel like I really connected to 3, especially in my senior year, so typical. But I love the music. I feel
Yes,
like it would be really great on stage, and or maybe someone needs to create a musical that mushes all of them together. That would be great.
great.
Anything like that. Such iconic music, and I mean, Kenny Ortega, I mean, literally owe my heart to him. He's awesome. So
I'm actually very surprised they have not done something on Broadway for any of those movies.
yes, I mean, I think it's so interesting. I mean, of course, there's the classics like Aladdin and Lion King, and I mean, when Little Mermaid was on Broadway, that was amazing. I wish I could see that. But those ones are really cool because it's like it feels more a little bit more like raw and like real when it's the High School Musical or Descendants or any of those ones. So
Absolutely, and I've heard rumors uh, that they're looking into starting casting and pre-planning for Tangled the musical.
yes, I also heard slash seen things about that. So that
Very
might be
curious.
interesting. Yeah, that
Yeah, I'm
would be
thinking like they're gonna need a Mother Gothel. So
Oh my gosh, well, I mean, I would love to see Jessica Voss as Mother Gothel. She is one of my faves. So,
You'll definitely be there when it's opening night because, yeah, I'm sure that will be an incredible show. There's so much stuff in the works too. That's the other thing. I mean, there's a lot of new shows this spring, but then someone was like, "Oh, it's actually a light season." I was like, "Okay, well, what's a heavy season?"
I know, and the Tonys coming up and everything,
Yeah,
it's so thrilling. Big community. That's
yeah,
what it's all about, you know?
and ever changing. I know theater has gone through its ups and downs, especially with COVID, and so for you, coming out of school and then now stepping into this role, what is one thing that maybe you look at differently since going through the pandemic?
I mean, I think the pandemic was just a reminder that in the literal snap of a finger, blink of an eye, things can be taken away from you or they can be paused and halted. And it's just, I think for me, it's just taken more of a toll on my like the way I emotionally react to theater and the fact that I obviously loved it before COVID, but knowing that something like that could potentially stop or be halted for reasons beyond our control, it's more of a reminder to just savor it and soak in every single thing, even things we don't like, and even struggles and early mornings and sitting in an audition room for 12 hours. It's like, this is what we love. This is what we're here for. And it's something that we have to remember how important it is to us and really just savor everything, really to the best of our abilities. So,
Absolutely. And I think savoring those things and remembering the little things and like enjoying life is such a big part of it,
yeah,
especially because I think theater and the stories told through it are about life. And like you said, living life, having your experience like adds to that real experience and that magic towards it.
totally. 100%. I mean, without real life, it's like, how do you really properly comprehend and portray what you need to portray? It's so important.
Absolutely. And, we talk a lot about magic. And so I'm wondering, where in your life do you find magic the most?
Wow, that's a really beautiful question. I would say I find magic the most in honestly other people. I find it in my friends, in the little things they like and the little things they do, and my family. And when it when we're all at the dinner table screaming and it's too loud, it's like there's magic here. Or walking down the street and seeing a stranger, or seeing two people holding hands, or someone walking a dog. It's like I think there's just so many, there's love everywhere, there's magic everywhere. And of course, I mean, I do really find magic every time I'm sitting in a Broadway theater. It just feels like there's something bigger. There's something beyond what I'm actually just watching. And it's very touching, it's very moving, and that's why I try to tell everyone, if you ever come to New York, you have to see a Broadway show. You have to experience it and really feel it for yourself because it's just so special.
It's such a beautiful answer and such an Evie answer. I was thinking as you were explaining it, which is awesome because it really shows that you have her heart in you. So
Yeah,
it shows, and I know it's going to show on stage. And
thank
that
you.
leads me to my other question, which is how do you hope to create magic for others?
Well, I hope to create magic for others by really giving my authentic self and letting people know that there is more to the shitty things, and there is more to the problems, and there is more to the heartache and the sadness or the bad weather or the things that go on. I mean, I would say that I'm going to make my magic through my theater, but of course I want to make magic and show people magic through like being my motherly friend and just being someone that's always there for my friends, my family, and just especially though on stage, I really love that feeling that comes from feeling what someone else is doing. It's like a connection, a magnetic force that you can't even explain. And I would only hope, I mean, I'm a really firm believer that you can always get better, you can always improve, you can always grow. And I hope to grow until I'm 80 or I'm 90 and I can't go any farther. And I hope to just always give my heart and show my love for it and hope that someone feels that too.
Absolutely. And I believe that's going to come through. And my last question is what are you most looking forward to in terms of stepping into the role of Evie and sharing that stage with your co-stars as the core four?
I would say I am most looking forward to people being submerged in a world that of course isn't genuinely real, but it can feel real. And I think that's what's really cool because even though there are so many elements of Descendants that it's like, this would never happen, there are also so many elements that it's like, no, 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 this can happen and this is true. And there is so much love and heart in just equality and not putting a divide between people. And if people aren't all similar or like, it doesn't matter. There's so much love, there's so much heart, there's so much magic. And I really hope that for the like 90 minutes that our show basically is, that people can have that escape and leave feeling very fulfilled and full of love, and that anything's possible if you put your mind to it.
Absolutely. And on that note, with that amazing advice and that belief, Jessica, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's a pleasure getting to know you a little bit more and talk about this exciting role and making your debut, which is awesome. And I know you're
Yes.
going to break a leg and you're going to do amazing. Thank you for being a magic maker and sharing some of that magic with us.
Thank you. This was so much fun, Matthew. I feel so blessed to have been here.
Well, you're welcome back anytime. I'm sure you're going to be part of another role soon, and then we're going to talk about that. But you're going to have an amazing run. I'm very excited for. And
Thank you
everyone
so
out
much.
there, if you're listening, go out there and do some magic. See you next time.
Bye.